Oh, we're still on this level. Good. Alright, let's see here. It is possible. Yeah. I have tested it. But it's tricky. This one went through a lot of iterations. There it is. Nice job, Diesel. I wanted to try and make levels that are less likely to hit it immediately, Roka. I wanted to avoid a level that does that. Oh shit, I need my controller. I'm built different. That looks good. See, this is how you do it. You just bam. Nope, that's I'm getting nothing right now. Oh! Pouring some tea here, and then we can get to suffering. How's y'all's weeks going? I guess it's only Tuesday. Demon, Roka, Diesel, Ninja, Pomo Boats, how you doing? I think that's everyone I saw so far. I've also fixed it, ideally, I think, to where nobody's gonna get just like stuck in a spot anymore. Today's the most boring workday ever. Dog, that sucks. Back when I worked full time. I would much prefer to be super busy than super bored. Super bored days, the day just crawls, man. So what was broken with it? If you can believe it or not, it was the crown. So I had part of the logic that I have for updating the leaderboard is updating who has the crown. And it would always assume that whoever had the crown was like, in basketball, everyone's always on the screen all the time, right? Whereas in Plinko, people are jumping in and disappearing all the time. So what it originally was that like, whoever had the crown, it would look for that game object, take it away from them, and give it to the other person. But more likely than not, whoever has the crown in Plinko is not on the board right now. So it would try and find that player, hit a null reference, and then just the rest of the logic wouldn't execute for getting into the bucket. So basically, if somebody were to take the lead, that made me panic for a second, but the collider's really small on the bottom, so you have to hit the bottom. If somebody, the condition where if somebody were to take the lead while the person who currently held the crown was not on the board, then it would null rep and they'd get stuck in the box. So it's always the crown, which is weird because it's such a simple thing, right? I'll put my hand in the ring. But I knew it had to be something with the leaderboard because like I did not encounter any issues at all as I was testing this on my own, which is why I added like, if you see in the Discord, I can hit a button and spawn like any amount of cabbages I want to just fall down the board. And you find the bug pretty quick that way. All to fix that stupid bug. Am I capturing right now? Yay! Bloop. Hello, hello. So I'm a little nervous on this one. As you can see, kind of. There's twice the number of stages in the Super Monkey Ball 2 Master Course than there are the first one. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but we're gonna try. Oh, a little spoiler for next stream. Why did I hit Ring Fit? No, Monkey Ball. I swear you keep pulling new and harder Super Monkey Ball stages. Dude, it's whoa, what's going on here? Hopefully that doesn't persist. It does. Does it? Hang on. Well, they just keep making stages. Yeah, it's all right. I'm getting black lines here. Let me fix a connection because that looks bad. I hope it's the cord here. One sec. Does that look better? Uh-oh. My super long HDMI cord has died. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. What up, Solder? Yo, did you see this, though? I have a new feature. Aha! Also not sure you last time I commented it. I'm not sure if others think the same, but the blue-red pegs are a bit straining to look at. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm not good with colors. If you have any suggestions, Roka, as somebody who actually has experience with color theory, I would appreciate it because I can easily change them. Something that blends with the cabbages. You're supposed to be. Hey, not bad. So yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think maybe they're a little bit too saturated, but I want to try and strike a balance between them popping out and not like blending in. The contrast of them is a bit strong between the. Okay, all right. I'll try and fiddle with that because I can easily just change that sprite and then all of them will change in the game. Noted. Oh my god. This actually, wow. Have I been just... I didn't realize how terrible my old HDMI cable is because this is actually running super smooth now. It's time indeed. It's kind of like one of those magic eye puzzles where your eye's seeing artifacts that isn't there. Ah, okay. D. We gotta go with our girl Yan Yan. As someone who's not familiar with the Super Monkey Ball series, is this a newer one or remaster or something? It is the latest Super Monkey Ball, which is a remaster. Okay. Complicated history. You have Super Monkey Ball on the GameCube. You have Super Monkey Ball 2 on the GameCube. Those were GameCube exclusives. Then you had Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which was a combination of 1 and 2 that released for Xbox and PS2. This is a remaster on Switch of Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which is a combination of Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2. So there you go. That's what it is. Yes, sir. So I actually started playing Monkey Ball on stream with Super Monkey Ball Deluxe on PS2, which is apparently the worst version of Super Monkey Ball you can play. So I'm glad they remastered it, because it's been great. Alrighty, 20 stages of master. Here we go. Let's get those splits ready, baby. Alright. Oh, wait, I've played this one. We are absolutely not speedrunners. We're just doing our best. Oh, I should have checked the audio. I think it's a little quiet right now. Oh, goddamn. Oh, goddamn. Oh, shit. Okay. Hang on. I think it's... Ready? It is a little quiet. One sec. I blame... There we go. Okay, now. You know what? Sorry if the audio is pretty perfect. There we go. We'll bring it back to what it was. Boink. All right. Let me know if I already fucked it up too bad. Oh, Solder J is already pretty familiar with some of the stream fuckery that goes on here, although he hasn't seen a lot of the newer stuff. So I think to be continued and Always Sunny were like the most recent things he's ever seen. Oh god, come on.
9, 8,
okay, cool.
7,
come on.
5, 4,
Plinko is very new, actually, though.
2,
oh, come on. Where is it? Ah!
0. Time over.
Plinko is like a last week edition.
Ready?
So that's super new. Come on, I beat this on Dark Banana mode. I can get this. Yes, Josh, because your boy's on... Fuck! Your boy's on summer vacation now, so he's got a lot of free time.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
I mean, I'm still working part-time Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but still... Come on. It was almost actually easier with Dark Bananas because, like, I could guide myself to the goal. Whereas this, I'm kind of like flying blind. Oh! Oh no! God damn it! Getting a dog on Saturday!
Fall out.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, I don't have my phone on me. I have your birthday in my calendar, homie. Makes you think I'd forget. What kind of dog you getting? You getting... Oh, come on. Shit. DK going to the shelter and finding one. Yay! Oh, that's going to be so fun. I'm also just realizing now that... Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. That this stage is called Centrifugal, which is mildly annoying. Oh, no. Where is it?
Hurry up.
Come on. Ah!
8, 7, 6.
Oh, get me out of here.
4, 3, 2. Fall out.
No.
Ready? Go.
Yay, good. Because it's called centripetal force. Centrifugal force is not a thing. Oh, get in there. Nice. Bam.
Ready?
Swing bridges. I'm scared. Wait a minute. Is there an alternate? There's green stages in there's green goals in this? Oh, shit.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
Well, I don't know if I want to go for those. Because I have splits for everything else already. Wait, seriously?
Fall out.
No.
Ready? Go.
Hang on. Not to be confused with centripetal force. No way. I was always told it's like centrifugal force isn't a thing. Did my chemistry teacher lie to me?
Fall out.
What's the difference then?
Ready?
I don't have time to read it because I'm on the clock. Oh shit.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
Apparently it's only from a rotating frame of reference. Isn't that centripetal force? What's centripetal force then? I thought I had my life all figured out.
Ready? Go.
This one moves fast. I don't like it. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's bad. Oh, Jesus. What is happening right now? Whoa! Gotcha, bitch. Centripetal is the inward force that balances the outward force. That balances. The outward force is centrifugal. No shit.
Ready?
Well then, my apologies, Monkey Ball. Oh, I don't like that.
Fall out.
I don't like that.
Ready? Go.
That's not good. Oh, and they change. Oh, God.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
Fuck.
Fall out.
We might be here a while.
Go.
I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
Yeah.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
I get the feeling that both of these are like a similar difficulty. Oh, okay.
Fall out.
So I need to stay on the far side of the direction it's rotating. So like over here, we're good. And then over here, okay. Oh, okay.
Fall out.
So I kind of just need to stay on the inside. All right, that's not bad. Fuck.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
Fuck.
Fall out.
Today my favorite person's wedding anniversary. And it's also Sapphire Ninjas as well. Excellent taste and favorite person, Diesel. Happy anniversary to you too. You got any plans? Oh, baby. Oh! Ah!
Fall out.
All right, we can get this. Easy peasy. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Ready? Go.
Well, no, not really. Shit.
Fall out.
I mean, I guess it is like a Tuesday.
Go. Fall out.
Ah.
Ready, go. Fall out. Ready, go.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'm sure you guys can have some fun sticking around the house. I mean, that's usually what I'm doing anyways.
Fall out. Ready, go. Fall out. Ready,
Ooh. Busy month then. Man, I was so close that last time.
ready, go.
Ah!
Fall out. Ready, go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Oh, come on. Nope, stay on the inner circle.
Ready, go.
Yeah, this is gonna take a while. This is a mean stage.
Fall out. Ready, go. Fall out. Ready, go.
Oh, so I discovered, I guess it's not much of a, it shouldn't be much of a surprise, but I discovered last weekend that I am horrendously out of shape. I think I had mentioned
Ready,
earlier that I was trying to get back into tennis, and there was a buddy of mine who's like, hey, if you want to hit the ball around, just let me know. So we went off to the courts over the weekend, and within like
fall out.
10 minutes of just going back and forth on the court, I was just like, oh, this is bad.
Fall out.
I was just completely winded.
Go.
Whereas like back in high school, I could do like 2 hours of tennis every day, no problem. It was a very humbling experience.
Ready, go.
It was rough, but it felt good afterwards. Ah, come on. Okay, all right. No. Fuck.
Ready, go.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it reminds me of the time I was reminded of my own mortality as I was playing tag with my like 10-year-old goddaughter, and I physically I could not catch up to her. I had to resort to like trickery and like cutting through paths and things just to be able to reach her. I could not beat her in a race, and that was just, oh, I felt like I was going to die.
Ready, go.
Thankfully, Denny, there is some muscle memory that's mildly retained, so I can still serve fairly decently, but my ability to keep things in the court is pretty rough.
Ready, go.
Much less physical exertion, exactly. Man, kids are like
Ready,
animals. The amount of stamina that they have. And they all do it while waking up at like 6 in the morning. Like how? There we go, baby.
go.
Hey, at least you can play some. I can't even handle the heat, let alone make my ball stay in a court. Maybe I should get back into Ring Fit too. It's also nice just to be able to get out in the sun. Oh shit, the splits! What is holy?
Fall.
Alright.
Ready, go.
Let's just see if we full send it, what happens. Okay.
Fall out.
Let's
Ready, go!
figure out what I'm supposed to do here. Not great.
Fall out.
It was okay for a little bit. I'm using tennis as a way to try to get back into the swing of things. What on earth? But at the same time, I'm still getting woken up by like children screaming bloody murder at 8 in the morning. Although today was a little bit different because one of the parents actually fucking lost their marbles too. Like I can totally understand it happening because like you're surrounded by constant screaming and just the worst sounds in the world on a 24-hour basis. So this morning he finally had enough and he was just like, why is this taking so fucking long every day? Like he just lost it. And it's so annoying because they're always getting ready for the day in the foyer, like right where they leave for the house, which just so happens to be the wall where I share a very thin door with them. Oh fuck.
Fall out.
So I just hear every single
Ready,
fucking thing every morning as they're getting ready for whatever the hell they're doing. They're probably going to like daycare or something since it's summer. Any interest in playing the Quarry? I have a massive interest in playing the Quarry. We already have a game on deck for the weekend for the Reds and I, but we are absolutely planning on playing that very, very soon. I mentioned it the other day when it was announced. Wait, hang on. That's the thing that always bugged me about school systems. Little kids wake up at like 5 a.m. and didn't start school till like 10. High schoolers didn't wake up until 10 and have to start school by 7. Wait, what? Don't wake up. Oh, yes, I see. Sorry, I had to think about that for a sec. Yeah, dude, it was such... I remember, like, I have vague memories as a kid having trouble going to bed at, like, 8 p.m. whenever bedtime was for little kids back in the day.
fall out.
But I never had an issue waking up. And according to my parents, I was one of those kids who was, up and at 'em by 6 a.m. But goddamn, when you're in high school, waking up at like, I think my alarm was always set for like 5:45, which was just
Fall out.
torture every single time.
Ready, go!
It was just fucking awful. Yeah, it is weird how like school systems like start times are, they do not line up with what a human being's evolving sleep schedule looks like. I thought there's a way to play the Quarry where 3 people control 1 character each. Man, that would be amazing with the Ruds. That would be neat, yeah. I'd have to see. Generally, I remember supermassive games like multiplayer stuff is not like the most compelling thing in the world, but we could try it.
Ready,
me.
go!
Until Dawn Part 2, it looks pretty great. Oh, you're already done with it?
Fall out.
Nice.
Ready, go!
I don't know what I'm doing here. Do I have to get pushed by these things? I think I do.
Fall out. Ready, go!
Yeah, I'd be surprised, Josh, if you actually played through it, because I know you're not a fan of jump scares, which seems to be the only trick in the book that Supermassive tends to have with their games.
Ready, go!
At first, I thought they were being clever and subversive when they made Until Dawn, because the jump scares were cheesy and cheap on purpose to like kind of lull the player into a different, like, sort of set up a context. But then it turns out in all of their later games, that seems to just be the only thing they're capable of doing from a scare perspective. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Fall out. Ready, go! Ready, go.
Can you give me an example of what you think a good horror with no jump scares is? Silent Hill 2. Easy. Silent Hill 2 has no cheap jump scares, or any jump scares, really. There may be like,
Fall out.
there's like one that I can think of that's like an optional, like, you go into a bathroom, you knock on a door, and as you're leaving the bathroom, you hear like a, "Ooh," like a loud noise kind of thing. That's about it. What about it is good? I don't know much about it. So we played through it on stream, Pomo. We had a huge, long rant about what we thought made Silent Hill 2 good. Silent Hill 2, oh god, I'm toast, is excellent at crafting. Oh, there's a green goal down there. Is excellent at crafting an atmosphere that cultivates like confusion and unease. So a lot of the scariness comes from your own imagination, essentially. It has some masterclass sound design and a great like visual style to make you sort of imagine. Oh god, oh my god,
Fall out.
imagine what's there. And on top of all of that, the themes that it explores and the things that the characters go through are horrifying to comprehend. So it's very conceptually scary. God damn.
Fall out.
It's very conceptually scary in the fact that, like, if you imagine being in the shoes of the protagonist, like, it's just a horrifying thing to... Where am I? I'm on top of one of these things? It's a horrifying thing to think about. And particularly with Silent Hill 2, the themes that it explores and the events that the characters go through are very, very real. Like, you have all these, like, you know, supernatural things that are happening, and sure, whatever. But the things that those supernatural things represent and how a character's plights are portrayed in the game is horrifying. And that's all I'll really say without giving away too much about what the game is actually about. And a very similar thing I can say about Devotion. Devotion is probably one of the best horror games to come out in the past like 5 years, up there with like Song of Horror. Although there is a couple of jump scares in Devotion that I would say aren't really needed. Devotion absolutely is one of those horrifying to think about sort of games, in terms of just like, oh god, I can imagine this happening in real life, and it probably has, and that's horrible. But the issue, the tricky thing with that is, I've talked to some of the developers who made Devotion back when they made their first game, Detention. And I was really digging the vibe of Detention when I was playing like a demo of it. Until like near the end of the demo, there was just like this random jump scare of like a face pops up and there's a loud noise and it's like, ugh! I'm like, oh man, I didn't like that. So I went up to the devs and I asked them, I was like, hey, like, why'd you put like this this cheap little jump scare like in the middle of your demo? And they legit told me, it was like, yeah, like we really only put that in there to sort of like to appease the people who kind of get bored with horror games when there's not like something going on. It's like we made it to like grab players' attention in case they were getting bored, essentially. So like they felt it was necessary to put in a cheap jump scares because a large portion of the horror fan base expects something like that. Otherwise, it's not like a scary horror game. Which, man, I understand, but it's frustrating that that's a thing. Later when you're still in the graveyard shift. Well, the VODs should probably still be there. Although, I think I'm not sure if we played Silent Hill 2 this year, did we? I think that was last year. So we probably don't have a VOD saved of it on the YouTube channel. I'm very confused right now.
Ready, go.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Dread is huge when it comes to a horror game. Well, that's the thing about, like, you can have... Oh, God. Hello. I think I just... Hang on. I think I glitched that. I swear I went through one of those platforms. There's no way. All right, what are we on here? Intermittent. All right, so we skipped Notch. I don't think I deserved that one. I might have to go back and play that one. Oh, okay. So, but yeah, you can have jump scares in your horror game, and I think they can be a very effective tool for scaring people, especially like releasing tension. So like if your game is 100% dread, that can get exhausting. So having a jump scare can be a great way to sort of release that sort of tension, but the jump scare has to mean something, you know? Like it can't just be scary face, loud noise. Oh, it was just a hallucination. Like that to me is like a textbook cheap jump scare. When something jump scares you, it has to present like an immediate danger that the player has to deal with. Like, oh, okay, dread's over. Now suddenly something's happening. Try and handle it. And it replaces the dread with like adrenaline, which is a completely different feeling and not nearly as draining as dread can be. But what I absolutely hate, and what seems to be the popular go-to choice for a lot of like really amateurish horror games, is a cheap jump scare. It's like, ah, scary face thing, and then suddenly it's gone. Like, what? Come on, man. That's just, it's more annoying than anything. Oh. Yeah, that's great. I'm trying to think of an example of a good jump scare, but my mind's kind of blanking right now. Yeah, let me see that. There's no way that I actually beat that legit. I saved a replay too. God. Hello? Yeah, no, that's, I think that's a whoops right there. Hang on. The only jump scares I really hate are when they're only for the player and they don't even exist to the characters in the game. Yeah, yep, that's a big thing too. Supermassive does do that quite a bit. And but like I said, I gave them a pass for Until Dawn because that's just what like cheap 80s movie horror things do, and that was the tone that it was trying to cultivate in the beginning before it completely switched gears. So I was like, oh, okay, that's clever. You were trying to make me think that this game was one thing, but really it's another. That's clever. That's nice. But then as they kept making games, I'm just like, oh, that was just very coincidental that it worked out like that, because cheap jump scares seem to be the only way that you're able to figure out how to scare the player. That's disappointing. But they have some neat ideas every now and then. Like, I think they do some interesting... It's always nice to see horror games with a AAA budget, because you don't see that very often in this day and age. Come on, baby. Bam. So they at least bring some interesting ideas to the table every now and then. And they've definitely, I would say, carved out their own very unique niche that they're sticking to, which is kind of neat. I like the format of the game, interactive movie. Like, yeah, I think that's a very interesting genre that not many other people are tapping into. It kind of reminds me of the Telltale games, particularly Telltale's Walking Dead, which I loved. Which, if you haven't seen a playthrough of that, Josh, or haven't played through it yourself, I wholeheartedly recommend it. At least season 1. I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Walking Dead, Telltale's Walking Dead season 1 at least is probably in like one of my top 15, maybe top 10 games that I really, really enjoyed. It's very good. How on earth?
Fallout.
I'll be honest, the games between Until Dawn and the Quarry I didn't care for. I found them a bit boring. I haven't played many of them, but I've seen a lot of them. Like Man of Medan, was it Little Hope that they did as well? I've seen pretty much all of the Dark Picture anthology. House of Ashes looked kind of interesting. That seemed to have been their best crack at things so far because it seemed like whenever there was any sort of jump scare, it was like it presented an immediate threat. Let's see. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. This is weirdly working. So I've been keeping up with Supermassive games despite not always like playing them. Yes. Yep. There was the one in Afghanistan with like the little vampire demon things.
Fallout. Ready, go.
Yeah, that one, it was neat. It had a neat premise. I think the animation looked pretty great. And the story was like interesting. So.
Fallout. Ready, go. Fallout. Ready, go.
But yeah, for me, I'm looking forward to the Quarry because if it's a decent horror game, then great. But if it's not, it looks like it would be a hilarious game to clown on with the Ruds. I'm sure they'll have plenty of opinions about the character animations and how things look because there's always a little bit of Supermassive Games jank in these things. So I think it'd be like Beast Inside levels of hilarious to play if it's not scary.
Ready, go.
Excellent. Excellent. See, that's what I'm hoping for. That's the sense that I got from the trailer in terms of just like, all right, this looks like it'll be a fun time. Well, that's the thing is that I feel like the studio accidentally hit gold with Until Dawn. And I've seen enough of their games now where I don't trust that that game was intentionally a hit. I think they accidentally stumbled upon a great premise. And their gameplay was unique at the time, but I don't think they'll be able to replicate. I don't think that they have what it takes to replicate what they did with Until Dawn, personally.
Ready, go.
I think it was lightning accidentally captured in a bottle. Now that I've seen like several more games from them and what they're capable of doing. But that's just my personal opinion. So Until Dawn started off with a bunch of kids going up to a ski resort in the woods to celebrate the anniversary of like one of their friends' death, which isn't a spoiler because it happens in like the first chapter. All right, so I'm going to start talking about Until Dawn,
Fallout.
and I'm going to be going into spoilers as I do it. So
Go.
celebrate was probably the wrong word. Hang on, I'm getting a little lightheaded. One sec. So, I'm going to be going into spoilers for Until Dawn. Basically, all these kids go up to this ski resort in the woods that they've always, gone to as when they were younger, but they stopped going because some friends died there early on. So it starts off with like this cheesy 80s horror movie premise of like a bunch of kids up in the cabin in the woods, and you have all these different archetypes of people who go up there. And it starts off with like there's almost like 3 or 4 different horror movies happening at once during this game. You have like the psycho killer, like Chainsaw Massacre guy. You have some dude who's setting up like these saw traps and shit. And then you have like some werewolf creature feature kind of thing, right? And all these characters are like splitting up and experiencing these different sorts of like spooks and jump scares, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And here's where the spoilers come in, so I'll give you a few seconds to mute if you don't want to listen. It turns out halfway through the game that the brother of the two girls who died at the beginning of the game actually invited everyone over there to have his own little revenge on these people, to sort of like give them the experience that he thinks that his sisters had in their moments of death, but not actually kill them. So he went to like a film school, not for the purpose of this, but he has like film knowledge where he set up all of these different like traps and prop things to sort of like really psychologically mess with his friends, but not actually like or hurt them in any way, right? So once that's revealed, he's like, haha, all of these things were like my doing and stuff like that. So that's why there's all these like cheap horror movie jump scare-esque things, because like it was made by a guy who was trying to replicate cheap 80s horror movie jump scares. And then it turns out that one of the aspects of like one of the spooky things that the different sets of characters are going through is actually real. And weirdly enough, it's the creature feature one. So there's Wendigos who are like infesting this mountain and actually like, you know, killing off people. And it's super interesting how it turns from like this cheesy 80s horror movie, like all these cheap jump scare things, to like now suddenly these jump scares matter because there's these actual like creatures that will kill you if you're not ready with like the quick time events, or like what I'm not sure what future Supermassive games have done, but I liked one of my favorite features of Until Dawn was the fact that like when a character's like hiding behind a wall and something's like slowly coming around the corner, they force you to like hold the controller still like you're holding your breath, and if you move it out of a certain zone, then you'll be spotted. And that's what I'm saying, Josh, is that like you have all of like these cheap 80s horror movie jump scare stuff, but there's always these little fragments and bits and pieces that there's actually like something supernatural going on with these like Wendigos and creatures and shit. So like on your second playthrough, you can see all that, and you're just like, oh shit, like they had this plan the whole time. This like wasn't like just something that they pulled out of their ass or whatever. So it was super smart. Their cheap jump scares in the beginning was sort of in service to setting up the player to be in a certain like mindset of expectations of what the game was, and then pulling the rug out from underneath them in like the second half of it, and now it's suddenly just a completely different game. And I thought that was really clever. I was like, oh, okay. So even though there were a bunch of cheap jump scares, it was worth it because like it cultivated an experience that would be a bait and switch for the player as they kept playing. That's clever. I like that. I think at this point, after seeing plenty of their games, that was just a serendipitous thing that happened, because cheap jump scares seem to be the only way that they are capable of cultivating a scare. What up, Duke? I feel like part of the problem might be that because Until Dawn was so popular, they made the mistakes of trying too hard to make the same thing again, but worse. Probably, yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like it seems like they didn't understand. They maybe understand what worked in Until Dawn, but they didn't really understand why it worked. So when you try to emulate something like that by only understanding the what and not the why, you get a cheap facsimile of a game, which is a problem that I have with actually a lot of other modern horror games that are like, dude, I enjoyed PT. I think it is an excellent piece of horror. I hate what it did to the modern horror landscape for like the past decade, because the only thing that anyone remembers from PT, or at least from a mainstream perspective, right? So like people watching this shit on YouTube, the only thing that a lot of people remembered about that game was the Lisa jump scare when players turn around. She's like right there and it's like, doing her little thing. And now so many horror games these days are always attempting to emulate that PT Lisa in your face jump scare. and it always is just so hollow. The only thing they know is like big scary thing in face and loud noise. Yeah, the don't look behind you one. Yep. That jump scare is iconic, and I think for good reason, because it was like, it was in service of the story and it was presented well. It was a good release of tension and it still progressed the game. But so many games are now trying to capitalize on like PT these days, and that's all they're doing is that sort of jump in face, jump scare thing. Like I can always tell when a game is PT inspired based on how they do that kind of stuff. And it's a similar thing of like some games who are trying to emulate like Silent Hill or Fatal Frame. Like they know that they love these games and they know what they love about those games, but there's always like a lack of understanding of why those things worked and the context that they worked in. So when you do something like that and you don't understand the reason why the feature was successful in that specific game, it just comes across as hollow, you know? And that was our biggest complaint with Tormented Souls when the Reds and I played it. It was like, oh, I see, they're trying to do like a Silent Hill thing here, but like that really doesn't make sense in this context and blah, blah, blah. Oh, they want this character to be like Mr. X, but why should I be scared of this thing in the first place, right? Like, sure, it has like these chasing mechanics and like it'll hurt you really bad if it gets you. That's super Mr. X, like that's what made Mr. X scary, right? It's like, no. It was like he chased you through rooms one for one. That was a big thing. He was constantly roaming and you could hear him, and he played like a major part in the story, where like granted, like in Tormented Souls that character also played a significant role in the story, but they had like 2 or 3 scenes of just like, oh, so this is what this person is, I get it now. It's like a retrospective thing of just like, oh, I see why they're here now, and not just like this thing is constantly pursuing you and this is the reason why, and he's constantly popping up in the story and you're always like, oh shit, what the fuck. So it's all these like these half-baked ideas of just like, I liked this thing in X game, I want to make a game like that. But they always focus on the things, the whats, the things that they liked, and they never figure out the whys. So a good example of the games that do that well, or at least in my opinion, we'll probably be getting, I won't get into this too much, but because we'll probably be getting into it on the weekends, is Song of Horror. Song of Horror takes massive inspiration from Fatal Frame and Silent Hill and those sorts of like early fixed camera angle horror games. But they add their own modern spin on it, and they understand why those games were scary in these certain aspects, and instead of just emulating them, they create their own features and their own way of designing the gameplay to emulate the feelings that those games portrayed. And that's how you properly pay homage to a game that you want to try to emulate, you know? Hang on. Damn it, I gotta go fast on that.
Ready, go!
And it's hard to explain because it can be a very abstract thing to sort of comprehend. But to me, it's just like, it's kind of just like a feeling you get of just like, oh, they're just trying to do the same thing that X game is doing, rather than like, this game makes me feel like I'm playing X game, you know? I don't know, it's hard to explain. Five Nights didn't help that. Yeah, it didn't. But here's the thing is like, I don't think I'd ever want to play Five Nights. Just because my poor heart can't take it. But I do think that at least the first Five Nights was a very smartly designed game. It was a single creator working within the limits of what he was capable of doing. And I think the game was pretty effective at being spooky. It's I don't understand why it took off the way that it did, especially in like the children demographic. Maybe it's because a lot of popular YouTubers played it and a lot of kids watch YouTubers. Maybe that was it. But I do think it is unfortunate for horror gaming as a whole that that game exploded past like its niche indie market. Because yeah, that definitely does encourage a lot of people to make horror games that are just like cheap jump scares. And I think that can be the motivation for a lot of people making horror games, is to try to emulate that Five Nights at Freddy's success, right? Just like capitalize on that kids market, right? So like you'll have, I think the most recent example of that is Poppy Playtime, which I'll be honest, I like Poppy Playtime. I think it's a very, I think it's a game with a lot of clever ideas and a great art and animation department. Like those people are killing it in like the unique assets. It's unfortunate that they really are seeming to try to lean into like, let's make these mascots that the kids will fall in love with, and Huggy Wuggy and Poppy and whatever that fuck that Spider Mom's name is. It's a shame that all that effort is in service of trying to capitalize on that. And it's even a little bit more unfortunate that they're succeeding, so they're just going to continue that trend, you know? At least Five Nights was upfront about being jump scare heavy, but its influence is the issue. Yeah, absolutely. Five Nights knew what it was, and it did it well. Man, this is taking me a while.
Ready,
Can I just... I don't think I can even full send this, can I? No way.
ready,
But yeah, it's a little frustrating to me. Hey now.
ready, go.
Yeah, I can agree with that, Pomo. I feel like the reason that the jump scares are even effective is because it does build that dread. The problem for me is that Five Nights blends the perfect cocktail of dread and jump scares for me, to the point where it's just too stressful for me to play, personally. I can't handle it. And I wouldn't say it's like necessarily from a scary standpoint, but more of just like just stress. I cannot handle it. It's like, to me, it's the equivalent of like, first of all, I hate being around balloons. Like that's a weird phobia of mine. And that kind of game feels like somebody just holding a balloon and needle right next to your face, and you know that they're gonna pop it eventually, but you don't know when. And that's what the game is. That's what it feels like playing that game. I can't imagine a worse torture for someone like me to go through. I've been too busy talking about games. I haven't really been focusing on figuring out what I'm doing wrong here.
Ready,
What? Oh my god. Yeah, no. Ever since I was a kid, balloons have been my mortal enemy. I'm curious as to what sort of trauma I experienced as a child that left me with that imprint. Because it has never left me. Damn it. I don't even know what I'm gonna do when I get to the end there. Oh boy. Hang on.
ready, go.
Let's go through this here. I had kind of a cool horror experience the other day. I was playing Remnant from the Ashes, which is not a horror game. It's an action arcade loot and shoot. But there's this home base area that you can explore, and it's completely safe space. But there's these downstairs areas where none of the other characters go, really, and you can unlock some doors to go down and unravel some of the story. There's a bunch of log files you can read through and get a bit creepier as you go through them. And while you're reading, there's some ambient noise that plays softly in the background every now and then of something breathing, some footsteps, and what sounds like some creatures jumping down and walking towards you. Hoo, 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 hoo. Which none of it exists, but it makes you pop out of the journal and look around and make sure that you're still alone. I saw this really cool little detail. No, that's great. That if I were to make a horror game, that's something that I always want to try and do. Is I want to try and incorporate one instance of, because the one place that players always feel safe in horror games is when they're reading a journal of some sort. And I want something to happen while they're reading that journal that causes them to get distracted by it. I haven't seen many horror games do that, and I think that's a super neat idea. Joe will never recover from the sheer trauma and dread of seeing Nick's score on a loft. Not anymore. That prestige belongs to Boats now. I think Boats is the majority shareholder of Aloft scores.
Fallout.
Yes.
Ready?
Yeah. Something like that. Would be super cool. Or depending on how you design what the journal pages look like, something could be like creeping out in like the background and stuff. And fun fact, Song of Horror does do something like that once in the game. And it's a random occurring event that can only, like, a random occurring event. So there is one place where Song of Horror does something similar to that. And it has a random chance of happening in that one location. So sometimes it won't happen at all. And other playthroughs, it will happen, and it will scare the piss out of you.
Ready? Go.
And it's just super effective. It's so good.
Fallout. Ready? Go.
But yeah, this is just a little nitpick of mine, and it's probably why I was a little sour on Eternal Darkness recently. And it's not necessarily Eternal Darkness's fault, but one of the things that's starting to become a pet peeve trope of mine is the insane character in a horror game, where, like, because they're insane, you can throw whatever freaky shit you want on the screen and just be like, oh, it was a hallucination, they're crazy, like that's the excuse that they use to do any sort of like spooky jump scares or whatever. It's like, whoa, crazy thing, but they're insane, so it's just a hallucination, so it's gone, you're not actually in any real danger now. Spooky. Ugh. Yeah, they do stuff like that.
Fallout.
It's annoying.
Ready? Go.
But I think in Until Dawn, like, his hallucinations can still actually kill him, right? Can they not? I forget. It's been a while since I've
Fallout.
watched through or played through that.
Go.
Are they harmless? Well, wah, wah, boom.
Fallout.
Wah, wah,
Ready? Go.
Gotcha. Shit.
Fallout. Ready? Go.
But yeah, actually, Roka, I'd never heard of that game you were talking about. I might have to check it out. I honestly, sometimes some of the more effective horror set pieces happen in non-horror games because they take you off guard, you know? They suddenly throw you in this other context for a little bit. That's why a lot of people still look back with fear and fondness to the flood levels in Halo, because there was like this one level in this like space shootery game that was actually horrifying. In the same way that people look back on like Ravenholm and Half-Life 2, where it's like Half-Life 2 has a bit more of like horror-y aspects to it, but not nearly as much as like Ravenholm was, like that one little level. Yeah, it scared the shit out of a lot of people. And that's because it was just like one level that decided to just go hard in the horror. And because players weren't used to that shit, it's freaky. It's effective.
Fall out. Ready, go.
So I haven't played the original Half-Life yet. I'll have to try that out. Oh, you know another... I'm just revealing all of my secrets now. One sec. Damn! Ah, damn it!
Fall out. Ready, go.
Oh, Doki Doki is so good. That game freaked the shit out of me. So another very easy way to personally freak the shit out of me in any game that you make
Fall out.
is
Ready, go.
any sort of water monster. That'll get me 100%. If I'm like knee deep in water, or probably even worse, like swimming through water, and there's like a shark or some sort of creature in there that's slowly chasing me, I will lose my goddamn mind.
Ready, go.
Yeah, that's a great example. Ooh. Mistrum Store. That's a new one. Yeah, the Amnesia Water Monster is a good example of that. The Gulper Shark from Jak and Daxter, which was their way of dealing with the player leaving the map. When they swam too far into the water, a shark will slowly come out from under the water, and there'll be like a dum 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 dum. Like its heartbeat would get faster, got closer to you, and then it would just eat you in one gulp. That scared the fuck out of me as a kid. In a more obscure example, in the most recent Rayman games, they'd have these sections of just like, you know, platforming and stuff with water underneath you, but Rayman can swim, so it's fine. But in some of the water, there's like these little like clawy hand looking things that once like your character touches the water, they'll slowly start to like reach over towards him, and you have to like try and get out of the water before it gets you. I've not played Subnautica. I own it and I want to play it, and I feel like it'd be a fantastic game to play on stream. So someday I'll be playing Subnautica.
Ready,
And it will scare the piss out of me. Yeah. That's what I've heard. Fuck, man.
fall out. Ready, go.
But yeah, and that I have a weird relationship with the ocean and deep sea stuff, because I find it fascinating and probably one of the coolest settings that you could like put a piece of media in. Personally, it's just like a personal favorite of mine, but I find it all absolutely terrifying. I know, I own both of them.
Fall out.
You really don't seem to like timers in any context, do you, Josh? Do I have thalassophobia? I don't think so. It's not like an actual phobia where like I can't function seeing images like that.
Fall out.
But it does unlock something in my monkey brain that automatically triggers like some dread. But I find it all darkly fascinating, so I constantly like seek out stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, that's awful, kind of thing, you know.
Fall out.
So I'm pretty much playing your anti-game right now, then, aren't I, Josh? Boom, 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 boom. But yeah, I'm trying to think of more instances of like
Ready, go.
spooky sections in otherwise not spooky games. There's actually a moment that I remember in Jak 2 of all things, where like I'm exploring like these sewer things, and then as I like you're walking past all these like grates on the wall, and there's one grate that when you walk past it, there's actually like an enemy that's in there, and it like crashes into the wall. It's like rah, which you could argue is like probably a cheap jump scare because you're not in any actual danger. But like I didn't expect a full-on yelp while I was playing Jak 2. I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
Go.
That's a memorable one for me. Stalker. I guess I never really played much Stalker. I was always under the impression that it was a sort of horror-themed shooter. Is it more of like a war shooter or survival game?
Fallout.
Superliminal has a part where it seems like it's going to go horror and they flip the script and it's just all harmless stuff. I still need to play Superliminal. I haven't played the Thief games, but I hear that there's one level in the original Thief that was super scary for people.
Fallout.
Like there's a
Ready, go.
there's a mechanic in Thief where you can peek through keyholes to see if there's anyone there and use it to like sneak around and stuff. And there's one place that you go that seems like it's abandoned, but there's like ghosts around and stuff. And there's like one keyhole that you peep through. Is like as you're looking around, somebody peeps through the hole back at you.
Go.
I haven't played Superliminal. I would love to watch you stream it. Yeah, I haven't. I just keep forgetting it exists, and then have to come back to it. I know it's definitely something that I would enjoy. Yes, David, Gone Home.
Fallout.
I remember you recommended that to me, and you sent me the files for it. And I thought for sure as I was playing like the first half, I'm like, did this boy just send me a horror game to play? And I think that was intentional. Like I think they were, you know, trying to sort of make it feel like a spooky experience at first.
Ready, go.
Oh yeah, Stalker 2 is supposed to be coming out, yeah? Gone Home was very good. I'll have to play it again. It's been years. Ever since like that first release was when I last played it, I think. We Were Here is not a horror game. What? That counts? I guess I haven't played the original We Were Here yet. Like I'm playing it with Nick P and the Bean, but he's been busy for a while. But I've played We Were Here 2 and We Were Here Together. I've played like 2 and 3. There's a new one that came out recently that I want to play too. I don't think they're that horror-y. Oh, the theater part is pretty freaky though.
Ready, go.
There can be a couple of freaky parts, but I think it's... I don't know. I didn't find them all that scary. But I also don't handle anything really scary. I used to be like you.
Ready, go.
And then I basically went through like exposure therapy, just playing them constantly. You really... It's weird to say, but you really get used to them after a while. The only thing that I don't tolerate is any sort of like loud, obnoxious jump scares, because those aren't scary, they're just unpleasant, full stop. Don't like them. There's not a quicker way for me to immediately just turn your game off and never give it another try than if you like absolutely rape my eardrums and just like make me just jump and hit my knee.
Ready, go.
I remember you screaming swear words at a horror game at a convention. Oh yeah, that was awful. That was awful. When I'm legitimately scared, a demon just comes out of me, and the only way that I can expel it is by just like a constant stream of expletives. Dun, 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 dun. Wah, wah, wah. Ba-da-da.
Ready, go.
Yep, there's a classic one. Hang on.
Run it.
What a throwback clip.
I forgot to comment.
So here's let me see if I can find. Hang on. Move this out. Let me see if I can find you an example of a jump scare that was definitely meant to be super scary and YouTube bait, but did nothing for me. It was an old one. It was Home Sweet Home 2. So this is going to be down for a while. Tormented Souls, Kuon, yada yada yada. Kuon had its moments. Village, wowzers. Oh, there it is. Is it? Oh man. Oh god. I scrolled too much. No! Well, it's gonna go through everything now. That's no good. Refresh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Tsunohi, Silent Hill 2, yada yada yada. All right, we're getting there. Tormented Souls. Da da da. Here it is. Basically just called Confusion or Fear. All right, so Josh, there's going to be a jump scare in this. And it's going to happen in like the first 10 seconds. But here's an example of me just like not giving a shit at all. And it's gone, yep.
Gone.
Oh,
Perfect.
Very cool.
The fuck?
a sneaky little bit.
Deer. Tasty.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Ew, what is that? Shit, what the hell was that?
What was that?
What the fuck?
I'm just confused.
Like a
like-
giant red skull with a woman's face on top of
There
it.
was
Like,
it was nothing.
Yeah.
That didn't do anything. Where did it go? Where did it come from? What was it doing? Who cares? Yeah, it's just a look of confusion because there's no context, there's no setup. It's nothing.
Whoa, whoa.
What is that?
What is that? Shit, what the hell was that?
What was it? Had no impact whatsoever, but oh, the YouTubers will love it.
Face on top of it. Like
It's a textbook example of how to not do a jump scare, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one's great. Diesel really got me with this one.
Hello. That doll's cursed for sure.
This was a great little segment in this is weirdly like a good example of like a spooky sequence in an otherwise not spooky game, which Resident Evil Village, a not spooky game, is kind of a weird thing to say, but because that one they dialed it up so much on like the atmosphere and the dread, it had such a bigger impact. And that's the sequence that everybody remembers from Resident Evil Village. That's the one sequence that's like the people think Resident Evil Village, oh man, that baby scene. And that was just because it was so vastly different from the rest of the game, essentially. I really want to make a spooky game. That's on the list of things that I want to be doing because there's a lot of things that horror games are doing these days that I'm not a fan of, and I kind of want to set an example. The Reds and I would be totally down for that. The difficult thing is that making a spooky game, in my opinion, takes a lot of time to design and develop and make assets for. It's very difficult. We've never tried to make a game to get players immersed in a world. That's so hard. But we really want to try it. So maybe someday the stars will align. And I did it with 5-second lag. That was perfect, Diesel. Shit. Adios there, Josh. Thanks for sticking around. So much sound design, which is the Ruds and I's, it's our Achilles heel. We don't do sound. None of us are experienced in the audio department.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Let me see if I can find, I'm just going to be looking through my backlog to see if I can find any other games that were spooky adjacent.
Fall out. Go.
Would BioShock, the original BioShock, would that be considered horror? Oh, at least for BioShock Infinite, that one was definitely not very like horror-centric or horrifying. It was definitely more action-y, but there was, I remember one level where they kind of flipped the script on that and made it a lot spookier. You had like wheelchairs with like an animatronic's head just like slowly rolling through the room and stuff. I think my Achilles heel too, where I try to make it work with random stuff I find online. Yeah, you seem to do a good job of that. That's what the Ruds and I do as well, which it kind of puts us in a difficult spot for Ludum Dare. I think we've sort of landed on the policy of just like opting out of audio entirely, but
Ready, go.
I do think that there's a lot of work involved in finding the right sound effects that work for your game, and you can still modify them in Audacity, which we generally do pretty heavily, but then also like mixing them to make sure that they don't sound too repetitive and annoying or too loud or whatever, and making the whole experience feel nice.
Ready?
And then especially whenever we incorporate voice acting into the game, it's like, oh, I want to be in for audio, but I guess we shouldn't. So the thing that I generally use for sound effects these days, and I've actually used it for some of the sound effects that are in the new Plinko build, is a program called BFXer, which is just BFXR, where it has a lot of ways that you can just like randomly generate digital sound effects depending on your situation. You can hit like coin pickup or power up or damage or like victory thing or whatever, and it'll randomly generate a sound effect. And what you can do is you can either keep that sound effect or you can modify it with like a bunch of different dials and things, and it's super duper handy. The only problem is that like they're very digitized sound effects. Hang on. Ah! They're very digitized sound effects, so they don't work in all contexts, right? They're more like arcadey sounding effects, but it's pretty crazy versatile. So that's what I'll use for like some generic sound effects. It works pretty nice, but when it comes to like, if you want something that sounds realistic, it can be tough to find. Oh, here's another thing. Let me see if I can find it. There's one sound effect that I hear in a lot of games that I absolutely hate. It's a sound effect where a light bulb blows up, sort of thing. So like when a light bulb gets overcharged, like sort of thing. And it's loud and it's obnoxious and it's used in a bunch of cheap horror games. So I'm gonna play it, and warning, it's gonna be loud, and I'll warn you. All right, 3, 2, 1. That's not the one. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I just typed in light bulb exploding sound effects. Is it this one? 3, 2, 1. No. Damn it. Oh, that's the light bulb dying sound effect. But it's, I can't find it. I'll have to find it later. But it's like, like it's the same fucking sound effect where it's like this loud, like, and then it's like, bzzz. Yeah, well, it's like my pot sound. I don't know what that sound is, Boots. I'll have to find it later, but there's a very specific sound effect where when I hear it, I'm just like, oh, good. Like the sound of a light bulb breaking is supposed to be like this really dramatic, intense thing. And it's just not. But you actually reminded me, Boats. I did get a little bit clever with sound design back when I was first doing game development and had more time to do it. I did like some Foley work stuff. So there's one game that I made called Cypher where it has like these little characters like jumping around. And what I used for the jumping around sound effect was I filled a metal bowl with a little bit of water, and then I would flick the metal bowl and it would make like a little ringing sound. And when you move the water around, it makes like a whoa, whoa, whoa sort of sound. And that's what I used for like jumping in the game, which I was super proud of at the time. Oh yeah, no, those weren't what I was talking about. That wasn't the sound that I was looking for. Those light bulb sounds were totally benign and fine. The sound effect that I'm thinking of literally sounds like a pipe bomb going off, and it's so over the top and unnecessary. I hate it so much. But I've heard it in like half a dozen games at least. Damn it. You know what game also weirdly used to scare me when I was younger was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I really hated it whenever a character would talk to me and I wasn't expecting it. So if like you were getting like robbed in the world, or a guard would come up to you, or somebody would like have a quest for you and just walk up to you and it would immediately just like zoom in on their face. Dude, that always used to give me so much anxiety as a kid. I hated it for some reason.
Ready, go.
Yeah, I thought so. It sounded fireworky, which is pretty fitting for what your character turns into. Your character basically just gets like immolated. Ah, shit.
Fall out.
What else do I got?
Go.
Well, one, when I played Skyrim, I was much older and for some reason didn't have that fear. But in Skyrim, I think it zooms into more of a full body shot than a close-up like zoom in of their face. So it's a little bit more like pulled back, which I think is nice. Also, the character models just look a little nicer, I think, so they're not like these uncanny valley monstrosities getting like thrown in your face when you don't expect it. Less sensual, exactly.
Fall out.
I didn't sign up for that kind of intimacy. Man, this thing fucking sucks. Is it released? I've been following them on Twitter,
Fall out.
and I saw your post in the line chat, David. My understanding is that it's coming out this year. I would play it on PS2, but I think it'd be super cool. Oh, this summer? Hell yeah. I think it would be super cool because Steven and I used to play that game all the time. So I think it would be neat. Even if it doesn't have online play, we can still play locally over Parsec. So if it releases at a decent time and I get it on PC, I can totally see Steven and I playing it. Well, so Dark Alliance 2 is 2-player only, unfortunately.
Ready? Go.
Literally, if they just make the original game as it originally was, and they don't, honestly, they don't even need to update the textures for me, but I know that they will.
Out. Ready?
That would be all I need. I don't need them to mess with anything in that game personally. That's one of my favorite games ever. Champions of Norath is 4-person, yes. Which I do own Champions of Norath, but unfortunately just for PS2. So I can't actually get the RUDS 2 parsec in and play that with me.
Ready? Go.
Maybe on one of our Thanksgiving streams when we're all in the same room together, I'll bring it over or something. But I played much more of the Dark Alliance games than I did Champions of Norath because those are the ones I owned.
Ready? Go.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
Ready? Go.
Oh, I'm just looking through my backloggery right now of other spooky adjacent games. I remember the Nonary games definitely spooked me a couple of times with some of their endings.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
I hate you all. Man, it's when I bounce like that, it's just game over. Web, 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 wah, na, na.
Fall out.
There's no way. You asshole. You're such a dick. You're such a dick. Because I was gonna say, why would there be why would there be a pause button if there's no play button? Like, you could bone yourself if you're not careful. Fuck. Damn it. Damn it. Let's see. Oh, fucking Metroid Fusion scared the piss out of me as a kid. And I never even beat Metroid Fusion, but your little rival in that game, god damn. I think that's the only GBA game that's actually like scared me shitless. Damn it.
Fall out. Ready? Go.
I'm getting the hang of this, I think. So I just gotta take my time on this part and then slowly. Nope.
Fall out.
Can't take too much time though.
Ready, go. Fall out. Ready, go. Fall out.
But yeah, I think now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, the mark of a good horror game that I personally enjoy is when you can the quality of it doesn't come down to like
Ready,
a moment that you remember, you know, like this game is like, oh, this was the game with this part in it or whatever. And it's more of just like a whole cohesive feeling that you get while playing it. So it's less of just like, oh man, that fucking jump scare scared the shit out of me back in the day. And it was more of just like
fall out.
you can't really describe,
Ready,
you can't boil it down to the reason that you like the game based on like one or two moments, you know? I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's just a feeling. Bum, 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 bum. I just want to be done with this level. Oh,
fall out.
it's so weird. No, I can feel it.
Fall out. Ready, fall out.
What else do we got here?
Go.
No DSR games really do anything like that. I am losing my mind at this level. I want to be off it. Ah!
Fall out. Ready,
Alright, focus mode. That was way too early.
fall out. Ready, go.
Fucking Christ, that was so loud and scared the shit out of me. Jesus Christ.
Fall out.
That made my heart stop for a second. This one's not bad. Oh, god damn it.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Fuck you, Roka. Damn it.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Go. Nope, too slow.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Going too slow.
Fall out. Ready, go.
So this is a weird one where, like, if you focus on going straight down that Taurus, you'll just fall right off. So you have to go at it at a diagonal angle, but going at it at a diagonal angle is too slow to make it completely over to the goal in time before it flips over. So you have to strike like a balance between the two, which is annoying. Ah! It sucks.
Ready, go!
No.
Fall out.
So the way I think that you do it is you get speed by hugging that inner curve for a second. So you get speed by going like right here and then fuck. Oh, 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 no!
Fall out.
Ah,
Ready, go!
I'm getting something now that I'm actually like focusing on playing the stage. The bounce though, that bounce will fuck you up.
Ready, go!
No.
Fall out.
Hugged it too much.
Ready, go!
Damn it.
Fall out. Ready, go!
I think I'm on the verge of getting this one though. Never mind. Whatever. Fuck you, Diesel. Someone's like, oh, he's about to make progress? Well, I'll make sure not of that. Oh, fuck. A bounce.
Ready, go!
Yeah, I don't know if anyone noticed on my Switch menu before I started up the game, but I have indeed downloaded Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for Switch. So that's probably what I'm going to be playing next on Thursdays. That should only take like 2 sessions to beat, I think. If I recall, I beat that in like 2 play sections when I first played it. It's long, but it's like 8 hours. It's a solid. Yes, it is currently 50% off. The entire Shantae series is 50% off until I think tomorrow's the last day.
Fall out.
So unfortunately,
Ready, go!
I won't be able to. If you enjoy what you see on Thursday and want to try it yourself, it will be full price by the time I play it. But boy, do I love the Shantae series. And also, hang on. Whoa, oh, no.
Fall out.
Mildly unrelated.
Ready, go!
But, dude, limited run games really seems to do Shantae a solid when they're doing like limited release stuff. They made fucking
These are those special
decks
run ones.
for Shantae, like for limited run,
Fine, you can't have that one.
which is absurd.
It's got this sick grip clip.
So cool.
The loading screen.
This is a retro shop near me, and I'm half tempted to get one of these, but they're probably ridiculously expensive, and I wouldn't ride it, and I don't know how I would store it on my wall. But these are so dope looking.
Any skater boys out there? We got some Shantae and Ryan.
So cool. You know, when I was packing up the other day, I found an unopened Pikmin 3 for my Switch. Didn't even know I had it. I still need to play the Pikmin games. I feel like I would enjoy them. Oh, sick. All right, come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it. Nope. Nope. Too much.
Fall out. Ready, go.
So yeah, I was tempted to get one of those, but I'm so like not the kind of person who would own a skateboard. So it would look just way out of place in my current decor.
Fall out. Ready, go.
And they're probably ridiculously expensive too. I actually met a couple of people who work at Limited Run when I was at GDC. I happened to be sitting at a bar and making conversation with one of the guys who was like in charge of securing licenses to create physical copies of games, which was super neat. They seem like just a really cool company that if I had to go with a publisher of some sort, like they actually are starting to publish their own games as well, which is crazy. They'd be cool to go with. I don't know what you're talking about, Ninja. Is there something about that guy's voice that wasn't jabbing with you? I really liked the first one, but you were on kind of a strict time schedule and didn't like that part of it. Hmm? Hmm? Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying like me. I was kind of on a strict time schedule, but in the first Pikmin game, you were kind of on a strict time schedule. I think I remember that.
Fall out. Ready, go.
No, that's not enough speed.
Fall out.
Not one of those guys who owns a skateboard. Like, it's just... I don't mean to say that, like, derogatorily. It's just, like... It almost seems like a... If I were to put a skateboard up on my wall, it seems like a sort of decoration that I would have to explain, right? Like, in the same way that, like... I own a guitar and I own a piano, but I play both of them extremely poorly. But if I were to, like, set them out and display, it, like... It kind of says something about me. It's a conversation starter for conversations that I'm not ready to have, you know? Like, the only thing that I really know about skateboarding is like Tony Hawk, and I like the design of this board, and that's kind of where the conversation would end. Come on, baby. Oh, you're such a dick. Damn it.
Fall out. Ready,
Yeah, I know it was a joke, but I didn't like the way that I phrased it, so I wanted to explain. Yeah, Tony Hawk. I 100%ed Tony Hawk 4, so I kind of know what I'm talking about. I tuned out for a moment. We talking Pikmin? We can be talking Pikmin. Boats and Diesel seem to have some good opinions about them. I unfortunately have not played them. My stepbrother gave me a skateboard for Christmas one year. I tried it on the driveway for about 3 minutes, and that's the extent of my skateboarding experience. So I was one of those kids who got inspired to try and skateboard by playing Tony Hawk.
ready,
The extent of what I was able to do were mostly like street tricks. So I could like, I think I could transfer into a Casper, but only if I'm stationary. And then I could flip back up into like normal board mode.
ready, go.
One of my favorite things that I was so proud of as a kid was what I called it like the old school kickflip, where I'd just be skating down the driveway and then I would get off my board and jog next to it. But in like a couple of steps, I would lean over, grip the bottom of the board and flip it. And as it was flipping it, I would jump back on it. So that was like what I loved doing. And then we had one of those ramps that would go like up and then had a flat part and then go back down. I could never, standing up, I could never go on that ramp. Hang on, this is a good one. Never mind. I could never go on that ramp. So the extent of me using like the skate gear that my parents got me was like me taking the skateboard, going on the flat of that ramp and then just luging down by sitting on the board. And that was the only way that I ever used that little like ramp setup. Damn it. Oh baby, come on. Get me in. Ah! So I was by no means a skater at all. Diesel, I hear you have opinions about Pikmin. I can stand on it if it's still. Does that count? You know what I tried like standing on back when I was a teenager? Back when they were all the rage were those fucking ripsticks, where it was just like a 2-wheel thing and you had to like shimmy your feet back and forth and like wiggle your way forward. I could not for the life of me stand on that thing. I couldn't do it. Ah. Fuck.
Fall out. Ready, go.
I'm getting there.
Fall out. Ready, go. Fall out. Ready, go.
If I can't skateboard, I'm about a million times less likely to be on a ripstick. Yeah. What's up, Homo?
Fall out.
Delay has been an all-time delight today. No. Sometimes my internet just decides to be temperamental. I didn't change anything. But that's good to hear.
Fall out. Ready, go.
I'm hoping once Google Fiber finishes installing its lines around my my area, that we'll be able to transition over to Google Fiber, which would be a nice upgrade.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Are you sure it's not your internet, Pomo? Nope, too slow.
Fall out. Ready,
Oh, nope.
fall out. Ready, go.
I'm quite sure it's not mine because it's only iconically bad with this stream. Iconically. That's right. You do get some some crazy internet speeds out there, don't you? Mad jealous.
Fall out. Ready, go.
Nope.
Fall out.
Eh.
Ready, go.
So that is okay. Not bad. Fucking finally. Jesus Christ, that only took over an hour. God damn. NordVPN. It shouldn't, but y'all got me
Ready,
talking a bunch of game shit, so I wasn't really focusing on it. I'm gonna go fill up some water, and I'll be right back. What up, Mastiff? You feeling better after tennis, buddy? Oi. Wow. I have a big boy water bottle now. Ah. God, just seeing some random magic card dropping down the Plinko is kind of hilarious. Bum, bum, bum. Hey, I also have a water bottle that size, so I kind of want to upgrade to a metal one. I just got this for tennis shenanigans because I knew that I was going to get dehydrated as fuck out in that sun. It's been it's been doing wonders for keeping me hydrated because it's just like sits there. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm kind of thirsty, and it's just an easy sip. I want to try. Oh, fuck. The crown is mine. Oh wow, you're at 47. Ah, so you're not gonna drop any more until somebody surpasses you. Is that it? Oh, that's -3. Whoops. Oh, flirting with danger there, Roka. Yeah, I'd like to try and come up with a new scoring system. Prestige is kind of neat, but it's pretty obvious that the crown seems to be more impactful since it has like it's big and all these glittery things and stuff. I don't know what I'd do with it yet, though. Oh well. Oh, sorry, Mastiff. Yes, fine. All right, so what's up with this? Crown Tears? Yeah, I could maybe do that. Oh, weird. Maybe some sort of particle effect or shine that gets brighter the more you prestige. Yeah, maybe.
Ready, go.
This one seems... Is there a... No, I guess there's no backwards thing. All right. This seems deceptively easy. Oh, yeah, that's...
Ready, go.
I mean, I could probably get it by full sending it at some point. Oh, shit.
Out. Ready, go.
So they're just a